Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to come and run my mouth and talk about the mess. Well, Kenya Moore was scheduled to go live. She said she was going to go live, excuse me. She said she was going to go live on the 15th. She never gave a time. So I kind of figured something was up with that. Well, now she's rescheduled. I'm assuming, I don't know why I feel like this one is going to be a pre record. Well, she's going live to basically, this is called her confessionals. Um, she doesn't have any confessionals this season. And so while the other cast members are able to, you know, give their opinion about things that have happened on the show, she's not able to. So, being that the title of I guess I don't know if this is going to be something that she does for the rest of the season. I don't know, but the title is Confessionals. Confessionals in my words. That's the actual title. So I'm definitely going to be there Friday. So it's going to come on this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I guess it's going to be, what time is that our time? 7? Because I think Atlanta is like an hour ahead, right? I think so. Or hour behind. I think it's an hour ahead. Let me see. Hold up. It's 12 here. Yeah, it's an hour. So it's 12 here, it's 1 there. So yeah, so we'll be watching Kenya. Another on Friday. And when she said that she was gonna go live, I was like, is this gonna happen? Because she was saying she was going to answer questions, and I was like, this is going to be a mess. Not to say that Kenya doesn't know about production, because I mean, Kenya has produced, you know, DVD movies, but she still produced before. But I was like, girl, is this going to be a mess? Is she? I just didn't know what to expect, because I was like, she's saying that she's going to answer questions from people, but if this is live, is she going to be answering super chats? Is she going to be answering I just didn't know. I didn't know what her formula was going to be, how the setup was going to be. So I'm assuming that this one is going to be pre-recorded, which I feel like it would be a whole lot better, honestly. Girl, I really feel like the pre-record would probably just be, girl, she could literally just put it out and go about her business, right? And I think it'll be a lot less stressful than going live. And you know I don't know if she's going to have an assistant to help. I don't know. I just didn't know. I didn't know, but I do know that she didn't go live on the 15th, as she initially stated, and she will be posting a video, whether it's live or pre-recorded. I guess we'll find out on Friday. I did want to talk about Bang Bang Edie. Yes, I call her Bang Bang Edie. Like Bang Bang. I mean, she says she carry pistols and whips. So I call her Bang Bang Edie. Bang Bang. Bang Bang, that goes around. Bang Bang, baby. Girl. Bang Bang. That's what she said. Bang Bang Edie. Cleo Benadryl. She needs some Benadryl. I heard Brittany's voice when that video of her speaking online prior to the nose job, and she was not as nasal. Is it nasally? She wasn't as nasal. She wasn't as you gonna respect me. You gonna respect me today. She wasn't. She didn't sound like that. So I can only assume that because of the nose job, that's why her voice sounds the way that it sounds. And I was thinking, like, that has to be hard. Can you imagine? Like, what if she really, like, what if she was a singer and she got a nose job and it messed up her vocal? Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine her using her voice as her moneymaker? Like, what if she was like a TV host? How would she sound? How would people get through listening to her speak because of the way that she sounds when she speaks? I was just thinking like, girl, if she was a singer and we know a lot of the singers that got their nose broken. Toni Braxton, Kelly Rowland, Beyonce. Word. Girl, you know, a little type, a little break. Just break it and bring it in just a little bit. Don't make it so noticeable. Okay, just a little 1-2. I gotta go to work. I told you about the white girls who I work with at Nordstrom who got nose jobs and came back to work. Girl, one of the girls worked on the sales floor, honey. When I tell you, babe, she came back, her eyes was all black. Girl, she was walking around the store with, girl, right here. It literally had white stuff across, like tissue across her nose. I said, girl. And she said, yeah, I'm getting my nose job this weekend. Girl, and baby came back to work. I'm telling you, it was like the next week. I'm not going to say it was Monday, but it was like the next week. Girl. And all of a sudden, I looked up one day and she was back at work, and I was like, girl. Girl. I said, white fish was pumping through the store, girl. Work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. Girl, I gotta pay this. Girl, I gotta pay this nose job because I don't put it on care credit. Okay. Anyway, but listen. So, Brit was down to what is it called? Watch What Happens Live, and she said that she did not have a pistol on her. Now, girl, let's get into what she said. So this is according to Baller Alert. Brit Eady admits she never had a gun during Kenya Moore incident on RHOA. So Brit Eady finally opened up about the gun comment she made towards Kenya Moore during a heated moment on Real Housewives of Atlanta. During Sunday's episode of Watch What Happens Live with Cohen, Andy asked her straight up if she ever brought a gun to set. I never had a gun in my possession at all, she said. Andy revealed that her comments triggered an actual investigation. Obviously, weapons are not allowed on set, he said. It looked like it was looked into and determined you didn't violate that policy, girl. He asked, why did you say it, and what do you think about it now? Um, she went on to explain how being in a rough neighborhood. We're gonna play the audio though. She explained how being in a rough neighborhood without her usual support from her husband had her on edge. I felt attacked and I was triggered by Kenya. She also broke down what actually happened, adding that the gun comment wasn't during a group scene. It was a quick side combo with castmate Kelly. Girl, just listen to this girl. And we're gonna get into Kelly in a little bit after this because Kelly came out and she did an interview with Bossip. And Kelly was saying that she didn't hear her when she made the comments. And I actually believe Kelly. We'll get into it.
Did you have a gun that night?
Oh my God. I never had a gun.
You never had a gun?
I never had a gun in my possession at all.
Okay. So your comments at the dinner, that resulted in an investigation. Obviously, weapons are not allowed on set. It was determined that you didn't violate that policy. So now watching it back, why did you say it and what do you think about it now?
You know what? I still beat myself up. Just the fact that I allowed her to trigger me. So it's just, there's no excuse for what I did, for what I said. And it was the heat of the moment. I'm in a rough neighborhood. I'm always used to having my husband by my side. And I felt attacked. And I was triggered by Kenya. And I was talking with Kelly on the side, like, you know how girls hype each other up or whatever. And it was a side combo. I was talking with Kelly and I mentioned a pistol, which I never should have. And I was wrong.
Girl. Well, girl, based off of what you said, it was a piece of an interview floating around from 2022 with some guy she did an interview with, and she said that she always carries her pistol. And then when you add in what she said down to Real Housewives of Atlanta, let me just play that quickly for you guys.
Every time, and I keep my pistol with me always.
Security that's at the gas station?
I still got my pistol, so I'm
good. Girl, Kenny's here. We ain't worried.
Okay, can I put this in the car?
I don't play them games. I got whips, pistols, everything. Play that started on camera. Don't play that with me.
I don't think that. Let me just say this. I don't believe that there was a thorough investigation. That's one. Two, how would they know because the investigation didn't happen because Britt said what she said. Be very clear. The investigation happened because Kenya put those pictures up, and also Kenya complained or went to production about what she said. The investigation didn't happen based off of what Britt said alone. And when the investigation supposedly happened, how did y'all determine whether or not she actually had a gun in her Chanel? Girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would have only known that if someone had checked her that night. And I don't believe that y'all are checking the housewives to see. Let's just. You see what I'm saying? Like, how would you have really known that night if she was carrying on her, unless y'all patted them down? And I don't believe they pat them down. Have you heard? Have you ever heard of the housewives being patted down before they come on set? Sure. And can we just call a thing a thing? While yes, we know that you have some girls on the cast that don't like to keep their hands to themselves, aka Portia. Girl, what do you? You felt nervous because you were going to a neighborhood, girl. You never know. You never know. You never know. There's always a possibility for anything. I don't believe that Bravo would have those women in an area where their safety really could be in jeopardy. Girl, for the life, girl, Portia literally had her Rolls Royce, whoever Rolls Royce it is, parked outside in the front. Girl, it wasn't too dangerous if Portia drove her Rolls Royce and set it outside in front. You see what I'm saying? Like, who's going, like, I don't see a nigga might who trying to floss, but I don't see a woman just going to the worst part of town and then driving a 400, 500, however much her car cost, and then just leaving it parked outside. Because I don't think they really. I get that they were making jokes about, oh girl, we're going to a bank, we're going to the head, we're going to the bank head. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it was to that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what I think. Um, I think that Cleo is more than likely going to be a one and done. I do. I think that once the season is up, girl, they're gonna give her pink slip in her white box, and we ain't gonna never hear from Brit Eady again. Bang bang, Cleo, Benadryl, Brandy, Bethany, girl, Bernadine, girl, BB. Okay, we ain't gonna never hear from her again, baby. All because, girl, she wanna act up and cut up and act a fool and act like a deranged fan. Let's go ahead and get into what Kelli had to say down to Bossip, and I'm going to tell y'all why I believe what Kelli had to say.
You and Angela both had pivotal moments on the show. She had the dinner at the bank, obviously, where all that went down with Kenya and Britt. And one of the questions people had was, how could you not hear Britt make that comment about the pistol? I think a lot of people were like, but you were right there, Kelli. Are you sure you didn't hear it? And you did not hear her say that.
So this is the deal.
Okay.
I was in the bathroom.
Okay.
I was in the bathroom getting demiked with them sheer Mugler pants on, trying to use the bathroom. And it was a lot of commotion going down when I was in the hallway. Okay. When I came back out, I was then remiked, and it was still commotion going on.
Okay.
When she made that comment, I did not assume she was speaking to Kenya or about Kenya. I assumed she was saying that because we were in Bankhead.
Yeah.
Everybody had already made this whole thing about, oh my God, from Buckhead to Bankhead. How are we going to Bankhead to the bank, right? So of course, I bring my security with me everywhere I go, Big Kenny, for my safety and for the safety of others who are around me. So that's why when she said something about a pistol, I'm like, for what? Girl, we got Kenny here, and your husband should be pulling up to come and get you, because she didn't ride with me. Her husband picked her up and dropped her off, right? So that's why it didn't click to me that she was talking about a pistol for Kenya at that time. No, I that's why I was like, no, not a pistol like to harm her. I'm assuming like for safety because we were in Bankhead. That's why I was like, no, Kenny, you don't need that.
Right. I got you.
I would never agree to dealing with the things I have dealt with in my past, I would never agree to a firearm and someone like hurting someone in that manner.
So again, that was an interview that she did with Bossip. Um, I actually believe Kelli, and I'll tell you why. And I was having this conversation the other day with someone. In my review, if you go back and watch my review, the episode, the review, when the whole mess happened with BB in Kenya, I said when she first started going off at the lip, talking about, oh, I got my pistol on me, I had to rewind it a few times because I thought in that moment, like Kelli, she was saying that because Kelli has a crazy husband and she has security with her at all times. Even though now I guess the man was in jail at the time. I don't know, child. But at the time I was like, well, did she say that because Kelli had mentioned something like, where's my security? And she was like, well, girl, I got my pistol on me anyways. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could see why Kelli felt like when she said it, she was saying it because like I was either looking for my security, she was looking for her, like I could see why Kelli wouldn't think that it was a comment made towards Kenya. Now, and then when you go back and watch the scene, Kelli was standing by the door when Brit kept walking away. And if you listen, Brit made those comments as she was walking away. So it's a possibility we heard them because Brit's mic'd up. But if Kelli was standing by the door, right, and Brit was walking away when she made those comments, then there is a possibility that Kelli didn't hear her the second time and think that those comments were directed to Kenya. Now, the first time she said it, it could have been an intimidation tactic towards Kenya. But I did think when she first said it that, oh, she's saying that because Kelli said something, because it was a lot going on. You really couldn't hear. Kelli said something about her security. She was like, well, girl, I got my pistol on me anyways. You see, does that make sense what I'm saying? Yeah, I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. But yeah, at the end of the day, I believe Kelli. I do believe that when she said it the first time, she didn't really think it was towards Kenya, but it was more so like, because she had said something about she was looking for her husband. Britt was looking for her husband, and then I think Kelli said something about her security, and so that fell in line with what the conversation they were having. It wasn't until she said it the second time where I'm sure Kelli realized that when she probably watched it on TV over, she meant that for Kenya, right? And then another thing too, I'm glad Kelli addressed was, girl, because we said this the other night in my live, girl, Kelli would have Kelli, especially with you dealing with a crazy nigga. Hello? So, girl, you should definitely not be taking veiled threats lightly. And I'm glad, excuse me, she addressed it in the video. Girl, I wouldn't even take something like that lightly, especially with what I'm going through. So I'm glad she cleared it up. But yeah, I believe Kelli. Um, I believe what she said, how she said, what she think, how she heard it. That's how it happened. Because again, that's how I was interpreting what Brittany, how the scene was rolling out. Like, did she mean it for Kenya the first time? Right? The second time, she definitely meant it for Kenya. Okay? But the first time I was like, girl, like, what did she mean? Like, what does she mean? Like, okay, maybe she meant that because, but it doesn't matter, girl. Kenya ain't got no job, and Britt ain't gonna have no job at the end of the season. Girl, fingers crossed. Anyways, it's sad because I really thought I was gonna go for Brit. I mean, I don't hate her. Cause I tell you the girls I don't like. I don't dislike Brittany. I just think that she's not a good fit for this show. The same way I think that Sweet Tea needs to go over to Bell Collective or Love and Marriage Huntsville. I think that Brit would actually be a better fit, like on a Basketball Wives. Like I could literally see Brit fitting in with Evelyn. You know what I'm saying? Brandy. I could see her fitting in with those girls. I really could. I could see Brit fitting in with like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, like Carly Red, Sierra Gates. I could see her fitting in with those girls. This is no shade. She does not work. She does not work on this show. She just doesn't. Girl, you got to go to the show where they throw bottles across the room. You see what I'm saying? That falls more in line with how BB Eady is. Girl, bang bang Eady. You need to be on the show where, girl, they pick up bottles, girl, and launch them across the room. That's where you need to be. And you might be okay. You can say those things over there because they used to it. You know? Anyway, shout out to Bang Bang Eady, honey. All right, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.